Welcome to the MamasteFit YouTube channel. Today, Roxanne is going to be sharing what she is preparing for the postpartum. She's got baby number 3 cooking right now. We're how many weeks?
35.
35 weeks. So
36 tomorrow.
We're almost at the any day now point. And so postpartum prep is in
Huge.
full force. So for those of you that don't know who we are, I'm Gina. I'm a perinatal fitness trainer and birth doula.
And I'm Roxanne. I'm a labor and delivery nurse and student midwife.
And we are the founders of MamasteFit, which is a perinatal fitness training company that also offers childbirth education and professional courses. So we offer tons of online fitness programs specific to pregnancy and the postpartum. We offer a childbirth education course with various tiers depending on the type of information that you want. And then we also offer professional courses for our birth workers, such as doulas and labor and delivery nurses, and then also fitness professionals with our fitness trainer course. And so if you want to learn more with us and dive deeper into a lot of topics, check them out on our website, and we'll link some of our favorites down in the show notes. But before we dive into Roxanne's postpartum prep, let's hear from Heather, who is doing our free early postpartum recovery course that if you're interested in signing up for, it is free. You can grab the link in the notes of the video, and you can sign up for our newsletter to get access to it. Completely free. It's a 4-week long course to just guide you gently through the first 4 weeks postpartum before you return to fitness and get the all clear. And so I asked Heather, how are you liking our early postpartum course? And she said, it aligns perfectly with what my midwife and doula are recommending for recovery. In and on around the bed for about 2 weeks, gradually getting back to my feet on the 3rd week. And I love that I still get to move my body. I worked on the unit until I was 41 and 3, which means she was 41 weeks pregnant and 3 days, so super pregnant like I was. And I'm not someone who likes to sit still. Plus, I love that Sophie, who's my 3rd baby, is on the bed with you. I always have my daughter parked next to me too, usually staring at her black and white cards to keep her entertained. And so she was really enjoying our early postpartum recovery course, which again is free to join. You just got to sign up for our newsletter. You can unsubscribe at any time, I guess. But we do send out lots of really great educational emails every week relating to the perinatal time frame. So if you want to be updated on what blogs we're releasing, any new content that we're releasing, or you just love hearing about our stories, our newsletter is a great place to be. And you get free access to this course. It's a 4-week course with tons of breathing exercises, mobility exercises, super gentle core exercises, kind of like that beginning of reconnection before you return to fitness. So very gentle program, PT, midwife, Gina and Roxanne approved, mom approved, baby approved, everyone approves of this program. So Roxanne, what do you have prepped for the postpartum period based on your 2 postpartum experiences now? And then I guess my 3. If you added anything. Yeah. So what do you got for us?
All the things. So I'm going to be sharing the different baskets that I am prepping for postpartum. So I prefer having just like little baskets around my house filled with the items that I will need specific to that location. I prefer the baskets over, some people will do like a 3 or 5 tier like cart that you like cart around your house. I'm never going to remember to bring the cart. So I personally like baskets, but carts is another option that you can do.
I have the cart because I kept seeing it, and it stayed in one spot.
I know, because I saw it.
It just gathered. It was not useful at all. Yeah. Baskets, the way to go, because you can put them specifically where you need it.
Yes.
Where are you putting your basket?
So I have 2 baskets here. These are my bathroom baskets because I have 2 bathrooms. I haven't fully filled them yet, but these are it. I got these ones. They're like wicker because I thought that they would be easiest to clean because it is in a bathroom, which not the cleanest place. But in these baskets are all like peri-care items. So like all of the things that I will be using for my perineal care. Your perineum is like your vagina. So all of your vagina care pretty much. So what are the items that I'm going to put in there? One, probably at first, I will have wonderful cotton underwear that's disposable, just adult diapers, disposable underwear, whatever you want to call them. Pretty much it is just a big diaper for you as an adult. I love these though for postpartum because especially when you're bleeding heavy for the first few days to weeks. The pads are great, but they're not great.
You don't have the giant pads.
Oh, I
These
do.
are like normal size pads. Oh, those are pads? I thought those were
Yeah,
diapers.
these are pads as well.
Oh, gosh.
These are the giant pads. I got them in a bag that Gina gave me, and I was like, honestly, these are pretty great as well. But these are nice, especially for nighttime when you're like in bed. You don't have to worry about all of the other, like all of this stuff. It's like this sticks, like this little pad comes off and it'll stick to your underwear, but it doesn't always stick.
And they're like sliding.
Yeah.
You got like
and then it
pad
like
up your
bunches up your
butt.
butt. So when you're bleeding heavily still, the first few days and sometimes the first like 1 to 2 weeks, depending on you as a person, get some adult diapers. It's a way to go.
Seasoned
we
mom
like
tip,
this
Rail.
brand, Rail, Rael. But I also have used the Amazon brand. I think Gina had some Playtex in there. Is that the
I don't know.
brand?
The other thing is make mom friends, and they will just gift you all
you'll
of
just
their
get
postpartum
so many of these
stuff.
because they're just great. But that's number one. That'll be in my baskets at first. And then once your bleeding has slowed down during the day, I will just transition from diapers to pads. Whether or not I will wear this huge pad, I haven't decided because, again, it was gifted to me. I'm going to see how I feel. But having pads in your baskets for after your bleeding has slowed down is really nice. I also will have mesh underwear. These are from Bodily.
Your hospital, if you're giving birth in a hospital, will also
Yes,
have
I have
them
one of those
to
as well.
give to you as well. So you
This
know, I
is
wouldn't
the
say
hospital brand.
I wouldn't say you'd have to buy them in advance if you were just looking for some mesh panties because you can get them from your birth location.
Yeah, they'll usually give you some mesh panties to take home with you. The nice thing about the mesh panties once you transition from the diapers is that they're disposable. So if they get a little blood on them, or if they, like your baby spits up on you somehow and it gets all the way to your mesh panties, you just throw them away. Sorry, environment.
Postpartum is not an eco-friendly time frame.
It is not. It's not a time to be
Just lots of
eco-friendly.
bleed.
I'm sorry, the world. But mesh panties, really nice. They're stretchy. They're a lot more comfortable than like your traditional underwear that you're probably wearing, especially because your belly is still like mushy.
Something else that I started having in my bathroom basket was panty liners. Because you don't maintain heavy bleeding for the entire time, but you do have like some discharge and some light bleeding.
Yeah.
And so I found panty liners were really nice because it wasn't overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like
So,
this is overwhelming.
that is overwhelming. These pads, like probably again, for when you're still bleeding, once it's at your discharge changes colors as well. So it's like bright red to brown to like yellow, maybe pink to like clear white, and that's kind of like panty liner time. You're still having increased discharge where you can't just wear your underwear, or some people do and they just change their underwear often. But panty liners can be nice, but that's a few weeks down the line. So I don't have that prepped. Probably should order some though, because I don't own them. I also have these really fancy, comfy underwear for postpartum. Thank you. For after I'm out of the mesh panty phase.
So if you didn't know, after you give birth, this is the type of sexy underwear you wear.
Honestly, they're so comfortable. They're so soft. High-waisted is the way to go. And then the last undergarment that I'm going to discuss is the Ballet Bloomers. So these are a must-have for immediate postpartum. They are gentle compression for perineal support, so like supporting your pelvic floor and vagina, as well as some abdominal support for your abs that are not yet formed back together. This is so great. You do not need to have one per day. It is like an undergarment, so it has like the liner in there. You do not need to wear
For these,
just this. This goes over the diapers.
Or over these.
Yes.
Your daily
so
underwear.
maybe 2 at max is all you need.
These are like what a belly band is going to provide for you, but it's also
added.
giving perineal support.
Which is
it's
so
not
nice.
super tight, but it still has gentle compression, and the fabric is also very thick, so it's going to give you a lot of support. So for me, postpartum, if I needed just a little bit more support, like I was going to be on my feet a little bit more, like going to an appointment, such as baby's pediatrician appointment or any follow-up appointments, I would throw this guy on to just give me a little bit more support. And I usually, my pelvic floor was thanking me. And like Roxanne said, you only really need like 2 pairs because you're going to wear this over other stuff. Because these are not cheap. These are like $60
Yeah,
a pair.
they're not cheap. I survived with just one because you just throw it in the wash when you're laying in bed. But if you want to get 2, that's really all. Like, you probably don't need more than 2.
If you are interested in the bloomers or other bowel-based stuff,
MamasteFit.
MamasteFit is our code, 15% off. We'll link it in the video description as well.
Yes, we love Balbay. Everything about them. So pads. Next, the all amazing Peri bottle. I own, how many Peri bottles do I own? Probably like 7. I own so many Peri bottles. I put a Peri bottle in every bathroom. I put a Peri bottle in my diaper bag. Like one in my car. It's a travel bidet for when you're no longer postpartum. They're just great. But the ones they give you in the hospital, I wish I had kept one. They're garbage. They're garbage.
It's just a spray bottle.
It's just a spray bottle. And you have to do a little bit of gymnastics to like actually point it at your perineum. Whereas this, it's upside down. So you fill this bottle up with water. And then you put the top on. And then upside down, all of the water that you just filled up will come out the top without you having to do any gymnastics. And you can direct it at your perineum. Whereas the other ones, again, you got to do some crazy gymnastics. So there's so many, every brand I feel like has their own.
They're all about the same.
Yeah, it's all the same. This one's bodily. I think that one's from Balbay. I have another one in here.
From Frida
From
Mom.
Frida Mom. Like,
they're all designed the
it's
same.
The same thing. One just holds more water. That one was a little bit smaller. I think this was the one that was in my diaper bag. Love them. So Peri bottle, some pads, and extra underwear, especially once you're out of that initial period. I would always go to the bathroom and forget that I needed to change my underwear. So like having it in the basket was really nice. Added things. So Frida Mom obviously has a whole kit for postpartum. There's other brands have it. This is just the one I was gifted from Gina.
Who I was gifted from another friend.
So it's just making its rounds.
I had too much other stuff that I didn't use.
Gina got like 7 postpartum kits sent to her postpartum. So we are good postpartum. So this one came with, I actually used the Frida Mom ice packs with my last birth, but I delivered at a birth center. So I went home after 6 hours. So ice packs are great postpartum. They're so great postpartum. They're really only beneficial the first 24 to 48 hours. After that, they do not help as much. So if you are delivering in a hospital, you probably do not need to buy ice packs. Unless you have like really bad hemorrhoids. That was the only time I used an ice pack after that 48 hours was for like hemorrhoids. Other than that, you don't need to go run out and buy ice packs. I did really like the Frida Mom ones, so if you are delivering at home or at a birth center, these ones are great. They will send you home with some at a birth center, but if you are, like not economically eco-friendly, they have reusable pads out there where you literally stick this in the freezer. It has a little pad. And then you can reuse ice packs.
This one
if you
came
need.
from Balbay. So
Yes,
this is a part
and
of their
their
postpartum kit. And what's nice is it fits into their bloomers. And so for me, I gave birth at home. So I didn't have the hospital ice packs. And so after I gave birth, I put this bloomer on. I put this ice pack in the little pocket of that, whatever that is. I put my diaper on. And then it was just right in there. And so I would throw these in the freezer so that they are warm, cold. I put them in the freezer so they're cold.
They're not warm.
And then they're still a little like moldable even when they're frozen. So they would form to my perineum. Mm-hmm. And then they were wonderful for breastfeeding when I was engorged. So when my milk came in, I could put them on my chest to like help with the engorgement, which is when your breasts are really full of all that milk. And so that was something that I really
you want to
liked
avoid
doing.
heat, so
Yeah. So
cold
cold
packs.
reusable packs can
Ice
be
your
super
vagina
helpful.
and ice your boobs. Double
Yeah.
whammy. Other than the ice pack and the Freedom Mom kit, they have the Perineal healing foam. So this is like some spray foam that again I'll also put into a basket. They have these witch hazel cooling pads. So the cool thing about these liners, I'm not going to open it because obviously I need it to stay moistened until I deliver, but they are actually the length of a pad. So you just take one liner and put it on the pad, and it covers the whole thing. Whereas a lot of other witch hazel pads, they're like the little circles, or they're like tiny little pads that you have to put a bunch on your pad, and again, like they bunch up and all that other stuff. So these ones were really cool for that reason, that they were long enough that I didn't have to put multiples on there for the Freedom Mom. Obviously another Peri bottle, and then Freedom Mom comes with some boy short briefs as well, because again, underwear, that's disposable.
So Freedom Mom has a 5-step postpartum recovery regime, which you can use with anything. So it starts with cleansing with the Peri bottle. You can use one of your 85 options. You're gonna throw on your disposable underwear, either your
briefs.
diapers, your mesh panties, your pad. You're going to chill and absorb with the cold. Again, only for about the first 24 hours. After that, you don't really need to use ice packs anymore. So if you're giving birth in a hospital, they're going to give you ice packs. I would not invest in that. Soothing with the Perineal cool pads, and then relieve pain with the healing foam. For me personally, I found Perineal sprays to feel better for me than like the foams or like the balms and stuff. But it does vary from person to person. For my first, I had an episiotomy, and around like week 2, when like the stitches were really healing, it was very itchy. And so I found like Perineal balm to be really nice because it was moisturizing the stitch sites. So they stopped being so itchy. But prior to that, like sprays felt really good for me. And that's usually my preference. And something else that I throw in my bathroom kit would be like my sprays that I'm using.
So I am getting a spray. So I delivered at the birth center last time with my birth with my son, and I loved their Perineal spray, like obsessed with it. Used it all. So I'm getting another one from them. And then they also had this like sitz bath perineal tea. They call it the vagina tea. And it's like another like soothing tea that you like use in sitz baths, or you can take a bath in it, or you can just put it in your Peri bottles. So I also got that from them as well, but it is being mailed to me, so it has not yet arrived.
So this
shout out to Monterey Birth and Wellness Center. I love you all so much.
So this is what Roxanne is prepping for her bathroom baskets. So we have diapers, or if it makes you feel better to call them adult disposable underwear, that's fine. We've got some Perineal belly
period
support
underwear.
Period underwear. Yes. You've got extra pairs of panties. What's nice about these high-waisted ones, if you have a C-section, they're not going to rub against your incision site, which is the same with the bloomer. So look for high-waisted underwear with no seams anywhere along the lower abdomen.
These are from Bodily.
We've got Peri bottles. They're all the same, except for one that comes from the hospital. That one sucks. Get one of these that looks like this.
Yes.
Anything that looks like that, they do the same thing. You look for the cheapest one. Any sort of pads for after the diapers, super helpful. Ice packs, first 24 hours. After that, you really don't need them. Use them for your boobs instead. So grab the one that's in the hospital. A lot of this stuff you can get from your birth location. So you can get mesh panties from the hospital. You can get pads from the hospital. So don't go crazy with prep, but if you want like specific underwear, you got to get one of these. This is like our top list. They don't always give you diapers, so get your own diapers.
I'm packing these in my hospital bag as well.
Definitely.
Things that I know I will probably get from the hospital is some sort of numbing spray, like Perineal numbing spray. Either Dermaplast or Epifoam are the two most commonly used. And then sometimes they will actually give you like Tux pads or witch hazel pads at the hospital as well. But I use them so much, so I got my own. And then they will also again give you the pads, give you the mesh underwear, but you can always ask at appointments to be like, hey, what kind of supplies are you going to give me so that I know I don't have to buy those ones when I'm going to the hospital.
They'll also give you some diapers for your baby.
Well, yes,
and
that'll
some
be
wipes
the
as
next
well.
basket.
So this is what Roxanne is prepping for her bathroom postpartum. If you're interested in any of these items, we'll link them in the video description. We have an Amazon list of all our postpartum prep that has stuff to support breastfeeding, to support like gifts for your older kids, to help transition as well. And so join us for our next video where we talk about all of the other stuff that Roxanne has prepped for her postpartum journey.